Yep.
You focus. So I'm gonna monitor the time of day, my sunrise and sunset times. And I just, status is already highlighted, so I just select OK. Pulls my relays. Shows me every relay there. I can minimize this panel that I'm tied to and see the other panel. And I can see that my exterior lights are off, as they should be. And all my other relays are off.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's your monitor tab. Your timing tab is where you'll find all of your schedules. If I go into timing, and I select OK, it asks me for a password. The default password is 1234. So if I just enter 1234 and then select enter, it brings up my schedules menu. You only have two schedules here. One is for the corridors and the other is for the exteriors. The only thing that we're controlling in this building is your main corridors and your exterior lights. We're not controlling any classrooms or labs, anything of that nature, okay? So if I go into my corridor schedule by hitting my next button, it highlights that line. I select OK, and it pulls up my schedule details. So as you can see here, I'm going to have every day of the week selected, which is telling me that this schedule is going to run every day. So if I hit next to highlight Monday, and I select OK, it allows me to look at the agenda for the schedule. Basically, you only have one instance here, and that is to enable your schedule to run off of the photocell, occupancy sensor, and digital switch. Okay, so your digital switches are going to work in conjunction with your occupancy sensor and photocell. So when you walk in the space, the occupancy sensor will sense you, turn the lights on, depending if the photocell is not seeing enough light. If the photocell is seeing too much light, then the room will stay dark. Okay, as we noticed with the lobby out front this morning. Okay, so when you go to when you walk in the space, occupancy sensor, if the photocell allows, will turn the lights on, and then you have the capability of going to the digital switch to override the occupancy sensor by turning the lights off or turning them back on. Okay, this is the only instance you have for this schedule, so there's really no reason for you to change it unless you wanted to incorporate a hard off, which you really don't have to because you have occupancy sensors. Follow? Okay. So if I hit escape, I can look at my exterior schedule. Now this may be one that you might want to change in the future depending on what you like for your sunrise and sunset times. So if I go into exteriors and I select OK, once again it gives me the schedule details telling me that it's going to run every day of the week. Am I holding this right for you? Okay. So if I go to Monday, select OK, I have two instances for the schedule. I have a sunrise plus 10, which is off. It's telling me 10 minutes after sunrise, lights are going to turn off. Then I have a sunset minus 10 at a behavior 6, which is on. So 10 minutes before sunset, lights will turn on. So say I wanted to change this. Say I wanted my lights to come on 30 minutes before sunset instead of 10. Okay? All I would do here is I press down to my on function, select OK, and then if you notice here at the bottom you have what's called an offset menu highlighted. If I go into that offset, I can change whether that's sunrise or sunset, but we want to leave it how it is, so I'm just going to hit next. And then this is the hours and this is minutes. So if I just hit next over to my minutes, then I can either up arrow or down arrow, or I can come hit my clear button to delete this and then add 30 minutes. And then I select OK. Okay? So when I select OK, what I want to do is if I change the schedule, I want to make sure that I select OK on the screen until it's no longer available on the screen for me to select. Okay? So I'm going to hit the back button because it allows me to navigate a little quicker instead of having to go through all the days of the week. Select OK. Hit the back button again. Select OK. Now, at this point, you are not finished. Okay, you still have to save the configuration. There is a save button here on this schedules menu, but we do not use that button. The reason why we don't use that button is because it saves the configuration to the handheld unit. It does not send the configuration out to the system. Okay, so I bypass this save button by pressing home, going right arrow to configure, select OK, and once again my password is 1234. Select OK, and the first button in my System Tools menu is Save Configuration. Okay, so when I select OK, right now it's taking the information that I've changed, compiling a database. Once it stores it to its own micro SD card, your handheld unit has its own SD card as well, and then it sends it to the MPU, and it repeats the process, saving it to its micro SD and then sending it to the panel.
So that process stores in a whole.
Yes, that is correct. Any other questions?
Well, say you want to have the lights go off at 10:30, say we have classes up till 10 o'clock.
Sure.
And not just going by the sunset. How do you program that in?
Well, your lights, are you referring to your exterior lights?
Right, exterior.
Okay, currently the way the system is configured, your exterior lights will burn all night. So they will come on at sunset, the 10 minutes before sunset, turn off 10 minutes after sunrise. So those exterior lights will burn all night.
So there's no way to manually turn them off at 10:30?
Yes, you can. Okay. You can actually, you're referring to the exterior lights,
right?
Correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so, all right, well, give me just a second. So we saw that this save configuration is complete. In any normal circumstance, you can turn this off by pressing and holding the red button. You'll see, if you hold the button long enough, you'll see a message appear on the screen that says shutting down. When you see that message, just let go of the button and you'll turn the handheld off. Okay, but to answer your question, if I wanted to turn lights off manually, if I go to monitor, like we did before, and I go to status, and I can see all my relays, I'm going to go to the relay that I want to turn off, which in this case would be your exterior lights. So this tells me out of panel 1, relay 3 and relay 4 are exterior lights, and relay 8 as well out of this panel. You also have exterior lights out of the other panel. Okay, so you cannot remotely turn them off from here, but this will give you the tool to be able to figure out which relays they are. So if I wanted to turn off, what I say, 3 and 4, 3, 4, and 8. Okay, well, as of right now, they're off anyway because it's daylight, but if I wanted to, I can turn them on just using the handles on the relay. Okay, now, if I do this, the relays will not turn off until their next scheduled cycle. Okay, so that would be 10 minutes after sunrise tomorrow is when they will turn off. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you're manually turning relays on and off from the panel. Okay, now, other areas that you have digital switches that control relays, you can override the manual relay by just pressing the digital switch to change the action. Okay, but your exterior lights do not have an override associated with it. So you have to be mindful that you have to, if you turn it on or you turn it off, you have to come back, turn it on and turn it off.
Are they labeled here as well?
Yes.
Which ones are exterior? Okay.
Yes. They're also labeled which ones are emergency as well. Okay.